Good evening. We turn to open session at 6:03. Flag salute. Attendance will be led by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Marissa Sam, the Vicenteno Elementary School student, please.
Go ahead, Marissa. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi.
There we go. Good evening. You want to lead us in the pledge?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Please stand and put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Which stands
one
one
under God, indivisible,
liberty and for all.
Thank you.
Good job.
There's no closed session report tonight. And next item, board recognition. Pastor Mitchell.
Yes, thank you. So we do have some recognitions. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Zamora.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Board, tonight, this evening, we are recognizing Rowland Unified School District students who have attained perfect attendance. We are excited to share that we have 5 high school seniors who have achieved perfect attendance from kindergarten through grade 12. Huge accomplishment. So proud of them. I know that they did their best to be in school every single day. And these students, we have a student from Nogales, Lloyd San, and we have 3 students from Rowland High School. My apologies, we have 4 students. We have Timothy Chu from Rowland, Narissa Vargas, and Desmond Chi. So congratulations to these 4 students. Very proud of you. Thank you. Their certificates will be in the mail.
Thank you. Then Yorbita Elementary School Principal, Aimee from the students, Daniel Torres, Katie Amaro, Katie Kakam, Armando Rio, and Samuel Garcia, who provide a brief report highlighting their schools.
Good evening, Rowland Unified School District Board of Education and Rowland Unified School District Cabinet. Thank you for this opportunity to spotlight Yorbita Elementary. I am Aimee Grigsby, the proud principal of Yorbita Elementary. And joining me today is Lydia Narcisse, Yorbita's teacher on special assignment, Carlin Lee Hessinger, district instructional coach, and our 4th grade students, Marissa Woon Sam, who led us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Daniel Torres, Kaylee Carcamo, Armando Rios, and Samuel Garcia. On behalf of Yorbita Elementary, we would like to thank the board for making the motion to start in-person support for our TK through 6th grade students. After over 400 days out of an in-person setting, our staff and families were eager to be reunited. On April 26th, we welcomed 65 TK through 2nd grade students and on campus, and on April 27th, we welcomed 94 3rd through 6th grade students. All things went so smoothly, and we could easily tell that students were smiling underneath their masks. A special thank you to all the departments for all the safety equipment put into place. We were ready with our decals to guide traffic. thermal scanners to take the students' temperatures, and hand sanitizer stations to for clean hands. We had plenty of staff ready to receive the children. The safety continued into our classroom with no less than 3 feet social distancing and desk shields. Our students complied with all guidelines and just expressed how happy they were to return to campus. Our teachers provided any type of social, emotional, physical, and academic support where needed and utilizing all areas on campus, inside and outside. In addition, our Promethean boards are on and they are put to good use. Yorbita is currently in year 2 of our focus area of Writers Workshop, where we believe in providing students voice and choice in their writing. All students at Yorbita Elementary are writers and authors. Because of the pandemic, we quickly adjusted our work. We knew that our focus remained on Writers Workshop. Prior to the stay-at-home order, we held lab studies in the classroom with Yorbita students. We wanted to keep the professional development going, and so we continue to have lab studies conducted virtually. Yorbita students joined our Wednesday professional development days to participate in our labs, where we collaborated with literacy partners and guided students to become better writers. Our focus is always on the writer rather than the writing. In year 2 of our study, we focused on writing conferences in Writers Workshop. During virtual learning, our conferences appeared much differently than in person. For in person, our writers found their perfect spot within the classroom. Our young writers quickly adjusted by finding a perfect spot in their homes to write. And when conferencing, you can see our writers sharing their screens to show their entries and drafts. Same approach, just a different setting. Either way, we understand that writing conferences are the heart of Writers Workshop, as we value how much we continue to teach the writer based on their strengths and needs. Every writer has room to grow and develop. I am pleased to announce that all students at Yorbita write every day. As we sustain our work and continue to develop our craft as writing teachers, we will see the benefits of our authors applying their writing skills and strategies anytime they pick up a pen or type with their devices. Here you see products of the progression of writing from TK through 6th grade. And an important part of Writers Workshop is the celebration. And at the end of each unit, our writers celebrate by sharing their books with one another. Our celebrations were grand and multiple classes and grade levels. During virtual learning, we just changed it up a bit by visiting each other's Zoom classrooms, but celebrated the exact same way. I would like to introduce you to my 4th grade friends, Daniel and Kaylee, as they share their thoughts about Writers Workshop. Daniel will go first, then Kaylee.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Daniel Torres, and today I will be telling you guys why I like writing. I love writing because I can write about whatever I want. Also, I learn all types of writing like opinion writing, narrative writing, and much more. My favorite writing is when me and my dad were in the car and broke down. Writers Workshop has helped me become a really good writer because I know how to write complete sentences, final words, hooks. Writers Workshop is going to help me in the future because it is going to give me a better chance at college and being a better writer. Thank you, Ms. Grisby and Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you, Daniel. And now Kaylee.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Carcamo, and I would like to talk about why I like Writers Workshop. I like Writers Workshop because when I get to start a new writing, I get to choose so many things, like the topic of my writing, or whether I'm going to write a narrative or an informational writing. I also feel Writers Workshop will help me a lot in the future. That is because in higher grades, I will have the knowledge I learned to make amazing writing. For example, I learned about hooks. That will give my writing a lot of improvement. I really enjoy Writers Workshop. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kaylee. And to tie reading and writing together and providing a culminating event of our Study on Writers workshop this year, we had a family literacy event that was published on Tuesday, May 25th. Our young authors are in the spotlight reading their own books they wrote. In addition, our staff has shared some of their favorite books. This site will remain public until the end of summer, and I would like to share one of our featured writers.
Hi, TK. Let's read about how to do ballet dance by Luan. This is stuff we need: dress, shoes, necklace, earrings, a brush, the bow tie. Step number 1. First, go to school. Step number 2, go to the restaurant, change your clothes. Step number 3, you done with ballet, you done with changing your clothes and go out of the restaurant and dance. You're done with ballet dance and go back home. The end. It's in my book. The end. I got color the star green. The end. Bye. Bye, TK.
So feel free to visit Yorbita's website for the published site and enjoy the many books we have shared with you. For the past 2 years, Yorbita formed a professional learning community focusing on math. I would like to introduce Yorbita's instructional coach, Carlin Lee Hessinger, to share our journey.
Thank you, Ms. Grigsby. Good evening, board members and cabinet. The Math Improvement Team, and I'll refer to as MIT for short, is a professional learning community made up of 12 members from across our school faculty. And when we got together, we were trying to figure out our focus and our mission of why we were getting together. And one thing that we all agreed on is our commitment to participate in this learning community. And the team of educators, we committed to learning, understanding, and just reimagining the kind of teaching practice that will create and sustain productive learning environments where all of our students can thrive in mathematics. So this led us to our mission that you see in front of you here. And I'll read it to you. It says, the Math Improvement Team is committed to solving long-standing inequities in educational outcomes. The team addresses problems that impact all our students, including historically marginalized groups. We test innovations in the classroom, understand what works and why it works and in what context, and share what we learn for use by others to learn. So in doing so, we use improvement science to build our capacity to improve our teaching practices and develop mathematically proficient students to succeed in a changing global environment. So it's quite a mouthful, our mission statement here, but we wanted to really establish our why we were getting together, how we wanted to serve our students better with respect to better instruction in mathematics. So this is our team here. 12 teachers volunteered to spend their time in school, in class, outside of class, after school, meeting and discussing and just really grappling with different ways to get better at our teaching craft in teaching mathematics. And our team ranges from our TK teachers all the way to our 6th grade teachers, both myself and Lydia Narcisse is on it, and of course, Mrs. Grigsby. So we have good representation on the team as well. And we decided to learn more deeply topics like CGI, number talks, unpacking story problems, and just asking better questions to get our kids thinking and discussing and having those conversations about mathematics. And the team commitments here, this is what we do daily, weekly, monthly. We all committed to having a monthly inquiry meetings as a team to discuss more student-centered practices, which is something that I think has not been addressed in the way that we're doing it now. And again, we're committed to learning, understanding, and applying a focus as a community of practice. We're committed to our own personal professional development in mathematics and identifying learning targets based on the mathematical standards and the practices and Common Core standards. And we engage in what's called a PDSA cycle, which is part of the improvement science process that we go through, which is we come up with an idea, we test it out, we go into the classroom, we get feedback, and we come back together, and then we talk about it, and then we make adjustments. And that's a cycle that we do like every 2 weeks. So we don't wait till the end of a unit or something to figure out if something worked or not. So this is something very different for us to tackle as a team, but we're constantly collecting feedback, tapping into student knowledge to see what's working, what's not working, and how we can be better at delivering math instruction with our students. Going into year 2 this year, we obviously had a transition into remote learning and teaching. And our focus still was the same, learning and understanding and reimagining the kind of teaching practice that facilitates meaningful mathematical discourse among our students. To continue our learning, we actually partnered with Dr. Theo Sagoon from UCLA. He's a director of mathematics instruction there. And he actually helped push us further in our improvement science work around teaching and learning in mathematics. And as we transitioned this year virtually, again, I mean, the team, just the teachers, I can't say enough of what they've been able to do. So creative our team is, and we continue to implement number talks, even counting collections. Our kids are counting objects and items that they have around the house, unpacking story problems, and still having those rich conversations. And we're seeing just a huge improvement in just how our students feel about mathematics and how they engage. Having that positive relationship in mathematics is so important for us to see, and we capitalize on that to help move students forward, all of our students forward in mathematics.
Thank you, Ms. Hessinger. I would like to introduce Yorbita special teacher on special assignment and MIT member, Ms. Lydia Narcisse.
Ms. Grigsby, good evening, board members and cabinet. As Mrs. Hessinger had said, some of the ideas and practices that have come out of our collaboration work together in the math improvement team are number talks and various other math routines, such as 3-act task, hundreds chart, and counting collections. We've witnessed students' progress in their mathematical development through these kinds of routines to build number sense and build a shared understanding of mathematical ideas and concepts. Through these math routines, students engage in more meaningful mathematical discussion, build up their self-esteem, and develop a math identity, regardless of their learning environment. Here you can see the way it was conducted in person or a virtual setting. Members of our MIT team serve as instructional leaders by sharing their strategies and outcomes with the rest of the Yorbita staff. Our professional development consisted of our leaders providing breakout sessions with math topics such as grouping collections, counting collections, choral counting, student flexibility with numbers, number talks, which one doesn't belong, and number strings. This year, our work with Dr. Theo Sagoon, our professional development continued in the classroom with our lab study. Members of the team joined a kindergarten classroom during the math block, and each took a group to present various story problems. We allowed students to develop their strategies any way they chose to come up with a solution. Our member facilitated the discussion by asking thoughtful questions. Within this collaborative setting, we noticed our students explaining their thinking, self-correcting, and learning from one another.
Thank you, Ms. Narcisse. And I would like to introduce you to more of my fourth grade friends, Armando and Samuel. They will be sharing their experience with Math Talks. Armando will go first, then Samuel.
Hello, my name is Armando Rios. I am a fourth grade student and I am from Yorbita Elementary School. Today I am going to be talking about Math Talks. What I like about Math Talks is I can explain how I solved the math problem. I can also show other students how I solved it. I also like doing it with my teacher because he makes it fun while learning. Math Talks will help me in the future because it will help me when I go to the Air Force. I want to be a pilot and I need to use math for different things. Have a good rest and
Thank you, Armando. And joining us is Samuel.
Hi, my name is Sammy Garcia. I'm a fourth grade student in Beta Elementary School. What I like about Math Talks is that I enjoy sharing my strategy in math with the class. Math helps me in the future to become an accountant, and Math Talks helps me improve in math, and it might get me to be an accountant. I want to thank you for giving me time to talk about Math Talks, and have a good night.
Thank you, Samuel. And once again, I would like to thank the RUSD Board of Education and Cabinet for this opportunity to share some of the highlights taking place at Yorbita. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Christie, and thank you, your team and the students for sharing so many good things. Thank you. So Superintendent report.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So this evening, it's my pleasure to bring the board up to date with some of the items and things that are in the district, as well as moving forward. As you know, as you were all participating last week, we had the pleasure of honoring employees for longevity, celebrating retirement in a virtual way. That is this evening to share a few additional recognitions at this time to honor our employees. So I'm going to turn some of my comments over to Mr. Bixler, and he can share some more, and then I've got some additional comments for you.
Excellent, thank you. And Dr. Mitchell, thank you for giving me the opportunity to reach out and talk with everyone about some longevity awards. As we recognize folks who were currently in the district last week through longevity as well as retirements, we neglected to mention the folks and recognize a number of longstanding employees who have since retired but should have received a longevity award, received acknowledgement orally tonight, as well as through their the plaques and things like that will be coming. So when we look at this, I'm not going to go back through the whole speech, but just to remind folks that those who started in 1995, a little joke, the gas was $1.15 a gallon. Did you want me to go through it? Started in 1995 and retired this year. We want to thank Sharon Carrillo. She was our technology services assistant. She was also our former CSCA president, and she retired here last December for 25 years. Teresa Mariscal was our school office manager at Shellen Elementary School, and she had retired in December as well. Also with 25 years of experience here in Rowland Unified, Norma Medina Nordos from Yorbita, the school office manager, and she retired in December as well. Going back in time a little bit further, those folks who started in 1990 and had served 30 years, We have our own board member, Miss Agnes Gonzalez, who was a senior account clerk at Nogales High School, dedicated. She's back with us, and we have her here on the dais. She retired in December 2020 and is back strong. We also had Alma Rosa Gonzalez, who was the locker room assistant at Rowland High School, and she'd served 30 years with us. Alicia Gutierrez from Rowland High School, Spanish teacher, 30 years as well. And then going back a little bit further, 1985, my graduation year. Going back to the future. Danny Romo was building services and construction ground supervisor. He retired in November. Take it back even further, back to the days of the Apple III, I think is what that was, and $1.16 gasoline and Dodger baseball. Betty Daniel, who was at Jellic Elementary, started as an instructional assistant, and she retired in 2020. Then we've had a few retirements come on in since our presentation was created, so it'd be remiss if we didn't bring those folks up to speed. Give them some acknowledgement. So Sandy Kwok from Alvarado Intermediate School. She's been with us since 1998. She's retiring here at the end of the school year. Peggy Toda at Race has been with us since 1996, and she's a teacher at the Rowland Adult Community Education Program. She's retiring here at the end of the year. Rorimer Elementary, Elizabeth London. Liz London has been a teacher here since 1988 and is retiring. Bruce Boyd at Rowland High School has been here since 1984 and announced that he's retiring. And Petra Briones in the special education department has been here since 1988, and she's retiring as well. So thank you, Dr. Mitchell and board, for giving me this opportunity to update everyone on some folks who really do deserve recognition, and we appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Winsler. Yes, you're going to fly. I'd like to congratulate all of our employees that were honored Thursday, as well as those this evening, and thank you, Ms. Gonzalez, for coming back into service in a new capacity. I wanted to also share that this week is filled with a variety of end-of-the-year festivities, as will next week. Last night, the District Elementary Music Showcase concert debuted on our YouTube channel, a video that celebrated the joy of music for our youngest students. It featured elementary students singing and performing beginning and intermediate strings, the RUSD band and choir, and messages about middle school music programs to get students excited about next year. The community can tune in and watch the video. It will remain up until June 26th. Tomorrow night, we will premiere the District Strings Showcase at 7 p.m. also on the RUSD Music YouTube channel. A combined concert featuring our string students performing with the Diamond Youth Symphony, Pasadena Unified School District, and Saddleback Unified School District. This year, we are excited to feature 100 of our class of 2021 graduates on light pole banners across the communities of Rowland Heights, City of Industry, and West Covina. So beginning next week, you can begin to see the colorful banners on the major streets of Colima, Azusa, Aimee, and Nogales. These will be installed starting June 2nd, and the banners will feature the graduates' names, their photo, the name of the college that they're attending, or technical school or military branch they will be going to in the fall, as well as their high school that they're currently attending. Next week brings us to the conclusion of our academic school year with graduations at our high schools. Graduations will be live streamed next week. Our graduations will be in person. So all of our class of 2021 graduates have the opportunity to be recognized in the in-person graduation ceremony. Because capacity will be limited due to the pandemic, we will be also live streaming the event so that family and friends can support the graduates. They will be live streamed on either the school or district YouTube channels, and graduations will be held for Santana High School on Wednesday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. held at the Nogales High School Stadium. And on Thursday, June 3rd at 6:30, Rowland and Nogales will have their graduations held in their stadiums. On June 8th, the Rowland Adult Community Education will hold a drive-through graduation ceremony starting at 5 p.m. The district is very excited to share and continue to share in a variety of capacities that as we plan to open the 21-22 school year, we are planning for all in-person instruction. So we're very excited for the first day of school coming on August the 9th to welcome our students back for in-person instruction. We'll be providing more information to all of our families next week regarding first day of school. And so we're letting them close this year and then look forward to the opening for next year. I also wanted to share fresh off the press from the work again happening in our HR office, supported also by our student services office, June 8th. From 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock here at the district office, we will be hosting a vaccine clinic for students and school-age children in our community who are aged 12 and above throughout Los Angeles County. So we're pleased to be working in partnership with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health and using one of our sites to provide vaccines for school-age children, both in our district and in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. So the next item is the student board representative report with John Rowland High School. First speaker is Aimee from Rowland High School.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, and members of the audience. My name is Aimee, and I'm the new Speaker of the House for Rowland High School. So beginning with a recap of May. Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week was the first week of May. Students completed activities which range from virtual videos and e-flyers, handwritten cards, small gifts like hand sanitizer and Reese's candy to show our appreciation for the staff. In addition, ACE Week students helped recognize the staff by decorating the teachers' breakout rooms during the week employee, which lasted from May 17th to the 21st. On May 19th, our seniors had their very first activity to get them ready for graduation, which was the cap and gown dry distribution. Seniors were encouraged to decorate the vehicle with one student building the magnificent dragon on the top of the car, which also has sound. Seniors also received their yearbook and took their first countdown picture that day. The freshman class is currently planning senior goodbyegrams where students can purchase 3 different baskets that include candy, chips, hand sanitizer, and balloons to give to the seniors. These baskets can be purchased on the Rowland website or in person at the hideout. Since seniors are able to have their senior assembly in person this year, a 2-part virtual senior assembly was shown in the Wednesday homerooms. This virtual assembly showcases our seniors cheerleaders, drumline, choir, and dance teams, along with recognition of various awards, as well as reminiscing the 4 years of high school with videos of seniors during their younger self. Our athletic program is coming to an end. Our swimmers, tennis players, and track members continue to compete at the CIF levels as all programs have concluded their seasons. Our fall athletes has their senior presentations along with our performing arts programs, which included band, jazz band, theater, comedy sports, and choir this past Monday. Since most of these programs were canceled or had limited attendance, seniors and parents still were able to have the much-deserved recognition during this event. This week will be the senior event where seniors will get to do various activities. Tuesday, we hosted the Senior Olympics in our stadium. Seniors formed a team where they came up with creative names and costumes. Some of the teams were the Lunch Squad, Team USA, Runner, and the winners of the best costume were the Ninja Turtles. Games range from the tortilla frisbee throw, beach ball blaster, ping pong shake, complete the lyrics, Simon Says, and water balloon toss. Everyone was a winner as they left the stadium and were awarded ice cream. Wednesday was paint night, and the Mr. 2021 event was hosted in our quad. Our very own Miss Bates hosted a great night of painting the senior mascot as Mr. Rice provided freshly made desserts while the seniors were entertained by the 7 Mr. 2021 contestants. At the end of the evening, the crowning of Mr. 2021 took place. This afternoon, seniors participated in a scavenger hunt where clues were of the staff at Rowland. This event allowed our seniors to say their last goodbye to their teachers, as well as be rewarded with a freshly made barbecue chicken sandwich meal from Mr. Rice. Tomorrow night is the senior sunset hosted at our stadium. Seniors will be able to watch the sunset on their last day of online classes with all their classmates while they are served with a meal made again by Mr. Rice. After the sunset, they will watch the final video of all the activities that have happened this very strange year. Graduation is in 1 week for our seniors, and they are excited to have an in-person ceremony. The class of 2021 graduation theme of Some Have a Story, But We Have History, this theme truly is a reflection of their high school journey. For the underclassmen, students have begun to return textbooks and prepare for next year. Rowland students are very excited for this upcoming school year and are hopeful that next year everyone will return in person. I wish the board and the district staff a nice summer, and I am looking forward to the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for your report. The next speaker is Estephanie Rodriguez from Santana High School, student representative, to provide a report next.
Hello, good evening, board members and Dr. Mitchell. June 2nd is our graduation day. Santana students have worked hard and are looking forward to walking on June 2nd at the Nogales Stadium. We can't wait to celebrate this momentaneous day with our family and friends. Our path to graduating has had such crazy twists and turns, but we stayed on the path and now we'll be walking that final stretch to receive our diplomas. Universal Studios has made it possible for Santana students to celebrate grad night at their amusement park. Students have been buying tickets and are excited to celebrate their grad night with their families. ASB has t-shirts that they will be giving to seniors to help them remember this unforgettable year that we went through together. We are happy for the opportunity and excited to share this gift with their fellow classmates. For those seniors who did not quite make the credits needed for graduation, they will be attending summer school and hopefully summer graduation to celebrate their goal of graduating high school. ASB would like to thank you all for the support you have given us throughout our time as Rowland students. From the laptops and hotspots you have supplied to the reading books you have offered to us, to your class visits and supporting our fundraisers. We are grateful to you and leave Santana richer in our hearts knowing that we always had your support. ASB wishes you all the best wishes and good health in the days to come. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Stephanie, for your report. The next speaker is Daniel Vicenteno from Nogales High School, senior class president.
Hi, thank you to the board for having me tonight, and to the superintendent. I'm Daniel Vicenteno, and I'm from Nogales High School. I'm the senior class president. Currently, ASB is getting ready to transition into a new year next year, as well with a new director for the upcoming school year. Exec cabinet has made it a priority to take inventory of sport patches and pins, and as well as organize the storage rooms and the workout rooms at our school. As well as the students and the new director are going to be attending CADA conference in July to better prepare for the upcoming school year. Last week, seniors were able to have our senior sunset, and everyone, all the comments that we got and all the seniors were happy and thrilled to see their friends, even if it was from a distance, in safe zones and groups. We were able to take pictures and take videos, post it all over our social medias. It was a fun experience for us all, as well as graduation coming up next week. We're all very excited that it's going to be in person. We're all thrilled. We're getting our things ready, our families ready, and I know that we're all happy that it's going to be in person. And that is all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, the next item is staff report. We received the staff report on the proposals of 2021-2022 of the activity and LCAP. Dr. Mitchell.
Perfect, thank you very much. So it has been a collaborative effort, and Dr. Zamora is here to share about the LCAP. There's no action on this item this evening. However, there is the opportunity for public hearing on it after the staff report. So Dr. Zamora.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, and thank you, board. Tonight, I will provide a staff report on our local control and accountability plan for the 21-22 school year. Here, we remind ourselves again of the process that we follow as we engage our stakeholders in the conversation and also in providing feedback as we move forward with drafting the plan district-wide. So we started our feedback journey in February, and we continued to have that feedback as we drafted our plan with our different stakeholder groups. And tonight we are having our public hearing, and on June 10th, we will bring our plan to the board for approval. After it is approved, it does go to the LA County Office of Education for approval from our county. On this slide, we can see here the different groups that we engaged in conversations. Some of the groups joined us, well, all of the groups joined us via Zoom, but we did also provide opportunities for feedback through not only meetings, but surveys. We had student voice through surveys, as well as focus groups. And we engaged our community at large in these meetings, as well as our associations and our current LCAP council that provides us feedback and recommendations as well. So here in Rowland, we make sure that all of our actions are connected to our 6 district goals. And our first goal being around academic achievement. Our commitment is to providing a well-rounded and rigorous educational experience for all students. And some of these are highlights of actions that we have provided and actions that we will be providing. So when you see maintain, that indicates that it is an action that we are already implementing and we want to continue to implement that action. When you see provide, it is a new action that we are making sure that through the feedback, it is reflected in our plan to make sure that we continue to support our students and make sure that they are provided with the best education possible. You can see also at the bottom, there is increased extended learning opportunities. We already provide extended learning opportunities, but in this case, we want to make sure that we provide those opportunities during the winter and spring sessions as well. Here we have other actions that came out of conversations. Again, the plan is 60+ pages. These are only some highlights that are under our goal 1. Goal 2, we want to make sure that our students are ready for college and career, and we focus on increasing the percentage of graduates, the completion of A through G requirements, and increasing honors courses and expanding technical courses. Here again, you see some of the actions that we are maintaining and some of the actions that you will see that we're also expanding on and implementing as new actions. Something here that was very successful, and it has been very successful for the past couple of years, is the onboarding program that makes sure that our students that are going to the next level have that opportunity to get to know their school and get to learn a little bit about their school, their counselors, they get to meet new friends, and they really, really enjoy this in the summer because by the time they come to school in August, they've already been to their school, they've already been to their site. We're excited that this summer the students will be able to do that in person and very successful. Here you see other actions that we will implement. So again, provide college and career field trips. We want to make sure that our students have the opportunity to see beyond what they hear in their surroundings. We want to make sure that students know that there are colleges all over the country that they can attend and that there's different opportunities, not only for your schools, but also to your institutions. Our goal 3, communicate and collaborate. We are committed to a culture of collaboration and open communication. And in order to do that, we have had great success with actions we are maintaining, and we are ready to implement new actions so that we continue that communication with all stakeholders in our community. So you see some strategies here. We want to make sure our parents are also part of the learning, and they've also requested some things be provided for their own learning, such as professional training around mathematics. We also see that our parents want to continue to communicate with their teachers through Parent Square. That was extremely successful, and that is something that came through the meetings and the conversations with our parents. Fiscal responsibility. We know that it is our responsibility to manage and allocate financial resources to maximize students' educational experiences. And here again, you see maintaining some of our very successful strategies around this goal. Goal 5, student and staff safety and wellness. We want to make sure that everyone, our students, our staff, and our parents feel welcomed and feel a sense of calmness when they are on our campuses. We want to make sure we continue that with such strategies as positive behavioral intervention and supports, as well as providing appropriate health staff across all sites. Here you see some more of these actions. This year, we want to make sure that we are providing not only professional development to the entire staff in Rowland Unified around social emotional learning, but that we're also providing tools and resources to our schools. As we bring back our students and our staff, we know that that is key, and we want to make sure that it is a priority for us. And goal 6, we know that leadership at all levels is important for our world-class education. We are committed to making sure that we become one of the best school districts in California. And so this piece is important because every person that works for this district, every student can have a leadership opportunity. If we provide not only the resources, but also the engagement that needs to come across our schools. Again, here's the timeline. I just want to remind the board that we make sure that this timeline is adhered to, because after board approval, it goes to the county and we get our plan back within a certain amount of time so that we can implement the following school. And so as you can see, all of our goals are aligned to, our actions are aligned to our goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Samura.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm glad to see that we have additional education for parents. But at least what I learned when I was in school is totally different from what kids are learning today. And it wasn't last year, but the year before the pandemic. Donna and I went to Blandford to a math event where parents came in and they were taught along with the child how to help with the new math. And it was an experience to learn that new math for myself. And the parents, I think, enjoyed it very much. The kids really loved it. Almost had to pull them away to end the session at night. But it was very helpful having the parents there, so the parents can help the child home. So it's really nice seeing the parents there. The other thing is the actual plan you have here. The first section of it, actually more than the first section, but it's a wonderful summary of the school district, the awards, who attends the school, the type of things that we're trying to go for, how do we define success, and that in itself would be a great little document in the first 5 pages or so. That's a great summary. Kudos to whoever wrote it.
I do want to thank Dr. Huck, who is the lead on this project. Of course, it is a team effort. I do want to thank the board and Dr. Mitchell for your leadership and support. Cabinet supports this process as well. It is a district plan, so it involves a lot of hands on it and a lot of eyes on it. Our associations are very involved in providing us feedback as well. So it is definitely a collaborative effort. And this year we were very excited in the virtual meeting that we had with the community. Those were the ones that we had about 300 to 400.
280.
280 in our community meetings. So thinking to next school year, I think it might be a great idea to have both virtual and in-person opportunities for community and for teachers and staff and everyone, so that if you can't make it in person, maybe you can make it online. Thank you.
And it's on page 1. I really do appreciate the specialized support in mathematics, and including the parents as well. And even as Mr. Mitchell had pointed out, when my child and children were going through school, some of that math was very difficult, and I had to YouTube how to solve problems the way they were expected to solve problems. So I do appreciate you having that specialized support.
Thank you, Dr. Samra, and your team. Thank you. So next report, you received the executive report on the proposal 2021-2022 district budget. Dr. Mitchell.
Perfect, thank you. So the LCAP and the district budget go hand in hand. The LCAP says in words what the budget says in numbers, and it is, as Dr. Zamora said, with providing the LCAP very collaborative. The process of varying the two budget LCAP is also collaborative, but Alex Flores and his team have led us through the budget process, and I'll turn it over to him right now to provide the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Board President Chan, Board Vice President Pride, board members, Dr. Mitchell, cabinet and audience. Thank you for allowing me to make a presentation on the 2021-22 budget. Developing a budget is a team project, and I would like to thank Aubrey Craig, Corey Duran, and the entire fiscal staff who has worked preparing this budget. A major component of developing a budget is reviewing prior year's expenditures. A big thank you to purchasing department led by Rosanna McLeod, school site offices, staff, principals, and department leaders for their work on their individual sites and department budgets. In this presentation, I hope to highlight the update from the May revise, unrestricted general funds, the restricted general funds, the multi-year projections, major assumptions in the multi-years, and the multi-year unrestricted and restricted general funds. The budget is a living document, and the budget cycle is a process that is constantly in motion. As you can see, we are here to share the budget for the next fiscal year. The next step will be to approve the budget at our next board meeting. The budget cycle has 2 fiscal years that are always crossing over. The audit process has begun for the 2020-21 school year, which will be finalized this fall after the unaudited actuals have been presented and approved by the board. The governor announced at the May revision that California is recovering faster than expected from the impact of the pandemic. He increased the proposed COLA for Prop 98 LCF funding in 21-22 from 3.84 to 5.07. This amount represents a statutory COLA of 1.7 for the 2021-22 school year, plus a 1% compounded with the 2021 unfunded COLA of 2.3. In other words, for 2 years, he made payment this next year. There is also a 4.05 COLA for special education and a 1.7 COLA for categorical programs such as child nutrition, state preschool, foster care, and mandated block grant. Finally, the governor budget proposal eliminates proposed cash deferrals for the 21-22 school year. Although this was not a significant issue for us here at RUSD, since under the board and Dr. Mitchell's direction, we have maintained a reserve to have cash on hand to make payroll, not like other districts faced this year in the state. This pie graph illustrates the unrestricted revenue for 21-22, which is projected to be a little over $133.8 million. 116 of base, 31 of S&C, 2.5 of other state funds, 1 for local revenue, and the 17.6 7 that is reduced from our unrestricted funds that is transferred to our restricted funds. Unrestricted general funds are projected to be slightly over 128 million, with $114.8 million related to employee salaries and benefits, making up 88% of the district's unrestricted general funds. Due to the one-time mega COLA and the hold harmless of ADA, we project revenue to exceed expenditures by $5.7 million, leaving an ending balance of $43.2 million. Please note, the ending balance is subject to change once the books are closed due to actual expenditures. I will now cover our restricted general fund revenue. Restricted funds are received for specific use and must be spent in that manner to be compliant with all applicable rules and regulations. Revenues for the restricted general funds are projected to be $59.5 million. This includes the one-time expanded learning grant, which we use to assist the district in learning loss mitigation. At the time the board agenda was posted, the third elementary and secondary school emergency relief ESSERS funds allocation was not received. Just yesterday, funds were released and resource codes were provided to school districts. When the budget is adopted on June 10th, the restricted revenue will increase by $32 million. Expenditures are projected to be $62.4 million, with the bulk of these funds, 65%, or $40.9 million for salaries and benefits. Again, expenditures funded by the third ESSER will be reflected in June's 10th budget. These funds need to be spent by September of 2024, and not all expenditures may be included by June 10th. Along with the 21-22 budget, we also submit the multi-year projections budget. Here are the major assumptions used to develop the multi-year budget for the district. As you can see, there is a projected COLA for the next 3 years, as we have factored in declining enrollment for 22-23 and 23-24, because the ADA hold harmless provision will expire after the fiscal year 21-22. The unrestricted multi-year projections show a decline in revenue and an increase in expenditures for the next 2 years. A large portion of the increase in expenditures is due to the increase in STIRS and PERS employer contribution rates. This graph shows the trend of the district's funded ADA to actual ADA. Usually, we are funded at the higher of the current year ADA or the prior year's ADA. The hold harmless provision has allowed the district's revenue to stabilize for the current and next fiscal year. For the 2 future years out, as illustrated in the graph, the district will see a large drop in funded ADA due to the expiration of the AD hold harmless provision. We have projected this based on actual enrollment this year. We are hopeful and optimistic that enrollment in kindergarten will increase as parents may have opted to not enroll their student this year. The restricted multi-year projections show a decline in fund balances over the next 3 years. I also would like to point out again that these numbers will change once the third ESSER allocation is included. Apart from the multi-year assumptions, there are some other considerations that can possibly have an impact on the district's funds and expenditures that were not included. First, the governor's proposed making TK universal to all students. This means the district will receive additional ADA for students that are not 5 years old. While in the past, the district has been committed to educate our students, and the district has absorbed the cost of those students who are not 5 years old. Second, there is a proposal that will change the calculation for concentration grant. It is proposed from 50% concentration to 65%, which could result in an increase in unrestricted revenue. Although another proposal by the Senate was announced that would increase our supplemental portion from 20% to 23.3% instead, and not affecting our concentration portion. These items will be finalized when the state budget is approved and signed by the governor. Any changes will be reflected in the first interim. As I mentioned previously, the district expected to receive additional federal and state relief funds. We have spent all the previous state and federal pandemic relief funds to date. The remaining funds are the SLR3s, which is $32 million, and the expanded learning opportunity grant of $12 million. The final topic I would like to cover in this presentation is the trigger of the Proposition 98 cap on district reserves. In 2014, Proposition 2 was passed that required the state to make a deposit in the public school system stabilization account when the following four conditions are met. Full repayment of gap funding prior to 14-15, 40% of the California General Fund revenue goes to K-14 education, Proposition 90 funding is sufficient to fund the change in average daily attendance and inflation, and the projected capital gains revenue is in excess of 8% of the general fund revenue. With these four conditions met, and when the amount in the account is at least 3% of the Prop 98 minimum guarantee, the cap on the reserve is triggered. The May revision projects a deposit of $4.6 billion in the PSSA, which is projected to trigger the statutory cap for fiscal year 22-23. When the cap is triggered, district reserves cannot exceed 10% of the assigned and unassigned general fund balances. Many have asked, how is the reserve percent calculated when a district has an unrestricted and restricted ending balance? School services confirmed the way that the reserve percentage is calculated is by taking only unrestricted ending balance plus Fund 17 balance and dividing that by the total unrestricted and restricted expenditures. This table illustrates the calculations for our reserve. In 22-23, our reserve is projected to be 20.01% and drop to 20.16% the following year. If triggered, the district would be over by approximately 12%. Any portion of the ending balance committed by the board would not be included in the calculation. We have traditionally assigned ending fund balances for future unknown issues such as decline enrollment, instructional program, technology, and other areas. Although I'm presenting the budget tonight, the budget development is over the year and it's constantly being refined. This refinement is based on multiple conversations that the board has and Dr. Mitchell has throughout the year, allowing allocations of our resources to meet the goals of our district, benefiting our students, our staff, and community, while always being fiscally sound by planning for unexpected times. This past year is a great example with the pandemic and seeing firsthand school districts struggling to have cash to make payroll. While we did not and were able to make technology and safety item purchases before federal and state relief funds were made available to our district. Thank you to the board and Dr. Mitchell for that. That concludes my presentation. I can answer any questions.
I just want to make a statement that, one of the major tasks that you as a board have is to pass a budget. Budget has to be fiscally sound and meet the needs of the students and the community. And with your help and with Aubrey and the other staff members, you have guided us so nicely. This is a big thank you for your staff for your guidance. And thanks, like you said, we are doing a great job at this school.
Well, the board and Dr. Mitchell make it very easy because you set up the goals and we follow them. So thank you for that.
Malkin. Thank you, Alex. Commissioner, any comment?
Yes, I believe that there are.
So, okay, please note, the public is welcome to provide comments to the board. Remarks are limited to 3 minutes unless ended or limited by vote of the board. A maximum of 20 minutes unless extended by the board is allocated for each subject discussed. The Brown Act open meeting regulates under which the board must operate to not allow board members to comment on non-agenda items or information you may bring up that are not on the agenda. Additionally, no action can be taken. However, the board may give direction to the staff following the comments.
Perfect. Ms. Ward?
Yes, good evening, board. Tonight we have one speaker. It is Miss Aimee Urbien.
Good evening, President Chen, school board members, Dr. Mitchell, and cabinet. I think one thing we can all agree on this school year, this has been the most challenging. During this past year, our members taught and serviced our students in this virtual setting. We had to learn new techniques on how to engage students and use new phrases such as, "Are you muted?" "You're muted right now." ARE members continue to teach our students, engage them in activities during in-person support, and learn new technology along the way. I've always been proud to be an ARE member, but this year I'm even prouder because they have always put students first despite the challenges that our members might have had in their own life. ARE would like to thank our CSCA brothers and sisters. Without the work they did this past year and all years, we can't do our jobs. The preparation they did to get the devices ready for all our students and staff, to distributing materials and food, setting up our campuses for in-person support, the instructional aides who work with our members in the classroom. These are only a few examples of the work CSCA has done, and I know I'm missing more that went above and beyond to support our students this year. All of us are ready to move past the school year and look forward to 2021-22's. It will be equally as challenging as we need to address the social and emotional health and learning of not just our students, but even staff in our district. We need to work together to address this trauma and stress that has been put on our community. We simply can't just move on to business as usual. Everyone has a story on their experience during this pandemic, and they need to be honored and recognized when that person is ready to share it. My own personal experience is I never thought I would be attending 2 funerals in one day until it happened in December, both of them COVID deaths. We are all going to need to heal, and it will take time, but we also have to learn ways to address the trauma our students and staff will face for the years to come. Equity and access to learning for all our students also needs to be a priority in our district. The pandemic exposed even more the challenges that are some of the most vulnerable students face when it comes to access. ARE is excited to work collaboratively with the district on addressing this, just not this coming school year, but for many years. Like SEL, the entire district will need to be trained and have workshops so that we can get to know each other, but also our students and community. We need to hear from our students on how we can do a better job to serve them. I do want to wish our educators, students, and community a good summer. I hope the district, cabinet, site admin, and all do take time for yourselves this summer to refresh and recharge. We can only give our best when we take care of ourselves, physically and mentally. Thank you for this opportunity and working with you this past year.
I don't believe so. Any additional speakers, Ms. Ward?
No, there was only one speaker tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, the public hearing. We will hold a public hearing to receive input on RUSD local control and accountability and LCAP. Any members of the public who would like to provide comments on the draft 2021-2024 LCAP plan is invited to do so by raising their virtual hands. The public hearing is open at 7:12.
If any member of the public wishes to speak on the LCAP plan, you can raise your virtual hand. Mr. Chen, we are seeing none.
Okay, so the public hearing is closed at 7:13. The next is another public hearing to receive public input regarding the proposal 2021-2022 Rowland Unified School District fiscal year budget. Any member of the public who would like to provide comment on the proposal, on the proposed 2021-2022 fiscal year budget is invited to do so by raising their virtual hands. The public hearing is open at 7:13.
And if any member of the public wishes to speak on the proposed budget for 2021-2022, please raise your virtual hand. Mr. Chen, we are seeing no individuals wishing to speak.
Okay, the public hearing is closed at 7:14. Thank you. The next item, number 7, is discussion and action item. 7A, can I have a motion and a second? To adopt the career technical education culinary art textbook in the motion.
I'll move.
Donna move.
I'll second.
Mr. Venegas, second. Discussion, any questions? Yes, Donna?
Carrie and I went to the textbook review, and I just wanted to say that Kathy Stella from Rowland High School and Jane Ritchie of Nogales did a great presentation talking about these two books. Guide to Good Foods book includes portion size. It is great for students that have an IEP, but it has an entire section about using hands to measure. It has an intro course on nutritional perspective as well as culinary. There is quality information about the core standards. There's information on nutrition and eating disorders, as well as pregnancy information with nutritional needs. Kathy said it has great content. It has precision exams. This book is aligned to help with the CTE exam with 500 different subjects. And the other book, Gourmet International Foods Textbook, has a great section on USA foods. It also has foods from different religions, customs, traditions. It has colored pictures. It also includes geography, traditions, and where the food was brought in. It also has other sources that are higher level. The previous textbook, Culinary Professional, had a perspective of professional restaurants, but not international food section. That was missing. This textbook has food around the world, including international food, not restaurant food. It also gets into the history and culture. James said that it has rigor and will be good for the higher students as well. It emphasizes international cooking. I was impressed with the presentations of these two books. And that's why I would recommend that we adopt them or we approve them.
Thank you, Donna. Yes, food is like a no boundary. So bring people together. It's very important. It's good book, yeah. Any more questions? Ready for the roll call votes? Donna Freedman?
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez?
Aye.
David Malkin?
Aye.
Erik Venegas? Cary Chen, aye. Motion carried. Thank you. The next item is 7B, I need motion and a second to approve 24 adult education courses that will be offered during the 2021 and 2022 school year.
I'll move.
Donna move.
I second.
Gonzalez, second. Any questions, discussion?
I just like to make one comment. You know, what really got my attention was how comprehensive this list is. You know, everything from academics to art appreciation, mathematics, biology, the government, the pre-calculus, the life science, et cetera, et cetera. But the one course that always attracts my attention is the government and history citizenship preparation. And it's just a wonderful thing to go there and visit the class. And when they have graduation and they take their citizenship exam, and then they have a wall of fame. So as they pass it, you put their picture up on the wall of fame. And to see how proud they are, that they passed that exam, became citizens. It just really is an emotional experience. So I really want to thank Rocky and his staff over there for having such a wide, comprehensive selection of classes for adults in our community. Thank you. Any more questions? Ready for roll call vote? Donna Freedman?
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez?
Aye.
Malkin?
Aye.
Erik Venegas?
Aye.
Cary Chen, aye. Motion carries. So next item, 7C, I need a motion and a second to approve extended to the learning opportunity grant plan. Donna. Need a
I'll second.
Mr. Venegas, second. Any questions? The comments? Ready for roll call vote? Donna Freeman?
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez?
Aye.
David Malkin?
Aye.
Erik Venegas?
Aye.
Motion aye. The motion carried. The next item, 7D. Make a motion and the second to accept the course of study of California state graduation requirements as an alternative means of satisfying the Rowland University district graduation requirements for the student list.
I'll move.
Donna move.
I'll second.
And that's second. Any questions? The roll call.
This is what they've met. I'm glad that we have high standards and there's time to readjust and pivot and make sure we're helping these children along, at least state standards. So I think this is a great consideration to do this.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Yes.
Anthony?
Just a comment, considering we have the pandemic, having all this alternative means is really good to help students. And we only have a short list of them, considering what they have been through the whole.
Thank you, Annie. More questions? Okay, roll call vote. Donna Freeman?
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez?
Aye.
David Malkin?
Aye.
Erik Venegas?
Aye.
Cary Chen, aye. Motion carries. The next item, 7D. Have a motion and a second to approve the contract agreement between Rowland School District and the Beynon Field Turf USA.
I'll move.
Donna move.
I'll second.
Mr. Venegas, second. Questions? I have one question. I should ask this earlier, but I understand this, the artificial turf met its life cycle. I remember when that was first laid down 10 years ago, that there was concern about the heat that it was giving off, and we got to water it down, cool it down and stuff. Have they made advances in this in the past 10 years as far as the problems that we had initially, or is it basically the same product?
It's basically the same product, made some minor advances in the thickness of the actual turf for lightness, so they could breathe more. But it still is one of the things with turf, it still is hot. On hot days, it does generate some heat, and that's why there's sprinklers just to water them down.
And the life expectancy for the replacement
Is again, it's a decade, but we will have a maintenance program to make sure that we extend it as much as we can.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions? Roll call vote. Donna Freeman?
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez?
Aye.
David Malkin?
Aye.
Erik Venegas? Aye. Cary Chen, aye. Motion carried. The next item, 7F. Need the motion and a second to approve the amendment 2021-2022 for meeting dates.
I'll move.
Anna move.
I'll second.
And the second. The questions? The meeting dates. I assume these will get published on the website.
Was the group? Yeah.
Donna Freedman.
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez.
Aye.
David Malkin.
Aye.
Erik Venegas.
Aye.
Cary Chen, aye. Motion carries. The next item, 7G. This item is discussed only. No action will be taken at this time. The board is being asked to bring forward for the first reading and then review the attached board policies. Any questions for this policy?
Let's find that. Couple of the board policies I think are important to board member electronic communications. You know, I remember when I first got on the board, you go through the Brown Act. And the Brown Act, you know, deals with communications between board members face to face. Now it's a whole different story with Facebook and Twitter and all this. And it's something that we all have to learn now. One board member posts something on Facebook and the other board member says, yeah, I like that, I support that. And then the next board member does that. Now you got illegal communication going on between board members. So it really is an important policy that BB 9012. We all have to, you know, pay attention to board member electronic communications. The other one is comprehensive health education. I'm really happy to see that physical, emotional, and social well-being was added to that policy, rather than just well-being as a generic. That we spelled those three areas out, and I was happy to see that. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That sometimes it's very difficult, very hard for us to prevent it. Sometimes we may violate it unintentionally. For example, when the social media, I see Mr. Malkin put something and I put a like or comment. Yeah. Because sometimes the this is so long, we don't check everywhere. We don't know what other moments or the any comments that I will say. Then the third one is the violation. So it's hard for us. So I realize this. So I realize I don't put the comments. That's for members post. Any more? Right. Okay, so there's no voting. So that item is consent calendar. It's need a motion. Donna move.
I'll second.
Venegas, second. Donna Freedman.
Aye.
Agnes Gonzalez.
Aye.
David Malkin.
Aye.
Erik Venegas.
Aye.
Cary aye. Motion carries. The consent calendar. Yes. Nice. So conference session. What comments? We'll start with Agnes. Your turn.
Hello, good evening. Thank you to Dr. Mitchell, the cabinet, for the recognition of longevity. It is my pleasure to serve this district. I have stayed here because I love to work at the district. The district, Nogales High School, to all the staff over there. Thank you very much. And of course, congratulations to all the employees from 10, 15, 20, 25. We stay here because we love to work here, not because of anything. Yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with the salary, but it helps. No, but we really, in my heart, thank you so much for the recognition from the bottom. First of all, I'd like to thank you, the board, and it's well received by the parents. The in-person learning had really been very, very successful. And it's well received by parents, community, some of the stuff, not everyone, but we can't please everybody, but it is for the students. And I think we have done a good job by deciding this to support the students. The campus was never closed.
We're always open, but it's virtual. But the in-person learning from April 26th to this day, I think had made a difference on a lot of our students, which is our core function in the education field. And last, I think this is it, the Senior Seminar Engineering Internship Award. What a magnificent presentation that is. And my hats off to Mr. Rockybadder and Ms. Birch and everybody, all the students, and Tony, the one who had given the awards, to the congratulations to the winner. I guess the word was, everybody was blown away. They were seniors, but what they presented to the group was an out of this world. It's like they're already engineers. And I guess that's the core of the district office, because we make these students, we give them a project and they work and they step up to the level. And I was so proud of that. Seeing that presentation made me know that I'm in the right field. Congratulations to the winner, and of course to all the students who did an amazing, amazing job. Of course, perfect attendance, K to 12, those 4 students, hats off to you. To go to school every single day, even in this virtual atmosphere, you must love your school, you must love to study. And I know that you will succeed by just having that kind of commitment from kindergarten to 12th grade. Yorbita, thank you for the presentation spotlight. You did a good job. And of course, this coming week, I just would like to personally congratulate all the 2021 graduates. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes.
First off, I want to thank our Yorbita leaders tonight, Melissa, Daniel, Kaylee, Armando, and Samuel. And hearing from them and sharing their insights and their experience, I think is very meaningful to me. I always appreciate that. From our secondary schools, Anna E., welcome, and Stephanie and Daniel, I think you're a senior, so I appreciate your being here all year and sharing your school experiences and giving me that insight as well. I did get a chance to attend the District Elementary Music Showcase, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to next year doing it in person and just being there and getting back to our new better, I think is the phrase, right? Not new normal, but our new better. And then I had a chance to go to West Covina City Council where Nogales students with 4.0, the 11th and 12th graders were recognized. Dr. Mitchell was there, that was a lot of fun. And Dr. Mitchell, I really want to point out, you had such a connection with every kid that came in and called them by name and made it feel so personal. And I appreciate that. And it's evident that you this leadership that you foster with Mr. Bixler the other day with the longevity and with the connection of every employee that was recognized. So thank you for that. That's something I appreciate and it goes a long way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations to all the students with perfect attendance. I'm going to say just what Agnes said, from kindergarten to 12th grade, 4 students. How could you do that? Not be absent one day? Wow, that is amazing. Thank you, Yorbita, for a great presentation. Also, Maddie, thank you for the LCAP and your team for doing such a good job. And Alex and your team for doing such a great job with the budget, proposed budget. Rowland High School has a whole bunch of great things happening. One of them was they were the best high schools in the country, state, and county in the annual publication through the U.S. News and World Report. The FCCLA Family Career and Community Leaders of America placed at the state competition and have qualified and advanced to the national competition. Teen Event Management came in first place. The FBLA Future Business Leaders of America program completed in the state competed in the state tournament, earning 14 awards for placing them in the top 10 within California in their respective events. 2 students qualified to compete at the BOA National Conference in June. At Hollingworth, they're planning for the 6th graders to have a drive-in movie and drive-through promotion. How exciting. At Oslo, they were able to have a virtual Founders Day and virtual talent show. And at Hurley, the interventions that are being used have shown much progress with reading and math levels rising. I watched the West Covina City Council recognizing 65 juniors and seniors from Nogales High School for receiving a 4.0. Dr. Julie Mitchell and Erik Venegas were there to congratulate the students. 12 students came in person to receive their certificate. The virtual longevity awards and retirement celebration was fantastic. Great job, Dennis. Congratulations to all of our longevity employees. Enjoy your retirement to those of you that are retiring. Thank you all for your dedicated service at Rowland Unified School District. The senior seminar engineering internship presentations, again, I'm going to repeat what Agnes said, and awards was amazing. 3 groups of students from Nogales High School and Rowland High School were part of this. Their presentations were incredible, like they were already engineers. They showed their design and they looked so professional. I was very impressed. Tony Ray, who has a lot of energy, had the most difficult job of all to choose one team to receive a scholarship. All 3 presentations were outstanding. Elementary music showcase last night was fabulous. The music teachers talked about the different programs. The students and teachers did a great job. The elementary music, choir, and band performed. That's what Dr. Mitchell was talking about. Intermediate strings and the orchestra played too. Pictures of students performing and going on field trips where they performed were wonderful. The last song was performed by the elementary music students singing "What the World Needs Now Is Love." And as they sang, they also used sign language. It was great. Thank you, music teachers, for doing such a fantastic job. Once again, I am so looking forward to the in-person graduations. Congratulations to all our seniors at Santana, Nogales High School, Rowland High School, and Adult Ed for receiving your diploma. I am very proud of each one of you. I wish you good luck with your future. Make good choices in your life. Have a great summer vacation. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Mr. Malkin?
I want to also congratulate those 4 students for perfect attendance. But you know, when you say, how could you do that? I have to say though, that I actually was a perfect attendance person when I went to school. And part of my perfect attendance were the teachers that I had, that they made, you know, education interesting, and I wanted to go to school. So hats off to those 4 students and their teachers who made the classroom so exciting that they wanted to go to school and have perfect attendance. So it takes 2 to tango in that situation. A student that's not challenged and that's not interested won't go to school. These students who are challenged and they found education interesting. I also watched the longevity retirement recognitions. As always, Dennis, down memory lane. I tell you, when I look at how long they've been there, they keep going back and back and back, and I see where I started. Like, I need to retire. Because I remember when my wife and I first got married, gasoline was 17 cents a gallon. So it was a long time ago. Congratulations. This didn't come up earlier, but I found out from Santana that Stanley from Blanford Blanford School, he won an award for Rowland Water District. He did a poster that did H2O awareness that they were going to use in the water district. So Stanley at Blanford, congratulations for your poster. Again, the CTE technical challenge. Just for those that didn't see it, there's 2 groups from Rowland High and 1 group from Nogales. And Kevin has, not Kevin, what was his name? Tony has a business that does business briefcases and luggage and things. And he challenged each group with a task. One was technology, one was hardware and compartments, and the others were zippers and closures. And they had to redesign luggage to incorporate those challenges. And the technology one is unbelievable. What they put inside their luggage and business briefcases. And the zippers that they came up with which were magnetic. It's just an interesting thing, but what made it even more interesting is they had to go on the internet and they went through Alibaba to get bids on what it would cost for the material, the manufacturing of the zippers and all this other stuff. So they actually had to draw a mock-up of how to manufacture this new luggage and then cost it out, what it would cost to manufacture it. And he's going to now use that. By the way, his company is Tote and Cary, and he's locally based. And I already ordered my briefcase. So next time when we'll have our board meeting, hopefully I'll have my briefcase and I can show it off. He's got some beautiful stuff on that website and a big sale going on right now. But he's got beautiful stuff on there. And he's a former graduate of Rowland High School. And to give back to the community like he did, because the winning team got a cash award to split. So thank you for helping us out on this. I also attended the Mount SAC presidential breakfast. I really enjoy doing that every year. It's kind of, a little bit disappointing this year because it was virtual. It's interesting how many people show up when there's a breakfast in person and how many show up virtually. It's like about 35, 40 maybe show up virtually. And when it's in person, there's about 100, 120 there. But Dr. Scroggins is just a fantastic speaker. And I just love listening to him. And as always, he has an interesting topic, and this year was no different. It was diversity, equity, and isolation. And I do have a copy. He sent me a copy of his presentation. It's very hard to send it via email, but I can send you a link because it's such a large file. He has some stuff there from All in the Family, for those of you that remember that show. And things that were allowed on TV then that would not be allowed now. And it's just a very entertaining lecture that he did, and very timely. So if you want a copy of it, let me know. Or just go to Mount SAC, go to President's tab. And under President's tabs, there'll be board notes. At the very bottom, they'll have the link to open it. So it's a great presentation on diversity, equity, and I actually think it'd be good to share with our staff because it was really eye-opening. And it's not a long presentation, but it gets you to thinking. And then last Saturday, I participated in a panel discussion that Albert Chang coordinated. He's the CEO of the Chinese American elected officials, and he's a former board member of Rowland Unified, and he's an alumnus of Rowland High School. And he had 4 board members on there. One was from a water board, one was from the city council, one was from the community college, and the last one was from a school board member from Mountain View School District, which was very interesting. And they all talked about what their role is as a board member. And it was interesting, regardless of what agency or type of board it is, there was one theme that went through all of it. And that's basically that they have to pass a budget, they have to develop policies and missions, they have to hire a lead person, whether it be a superintendent or a CEO, and they have to be the voice of their community. But they also talked about, they were all AAPIs. So they also talked about being an AAPI individual, Asian American Pacific Islander, and how that affected their ability to represent the community that elected them with what's happening now with racism in the community. So it was a very interesting presentation and panel. I want to talk about just a couple of consent items that get passed but never get discussed. I think they're important. One of them is that we passed the Career Technical Advisory Committee membership. that membership is such a huge membership. But they represent all the businesses in our community that benefit from our career technical education. And they give us advice on how to do that program, how to modify it every year. They actually meet every year and tell us what we need to change to keep it relevant and current. So I just want to give a big shout out to all those businesses and all those schools and that participate on that. To take time out to make sure that what we're doing is relevant. The other thing is consent item C8C23. I want to thank Mr. Flores and his staff for putting the finishing touches on Rowland High School. I was out there the other day, and those lockers, if I had to guess, they were new lockers. I understand they stripped them down and painted them. Boy, they should look like brand new lockers to me. It just, I mean, it's just beautiful the way they fix those up. And with the approval today of the RFP for the new doors, that's gonna really blend the old with the new. And it's gonna just give that one extra touch to that school that really makes it pop. So thank you for having that artistic eye to make the schools pop once they're remodeled. And then Azusa Pacific University MOU that was approved tonight. They're going to provide field experiences in teaching, intern teaching, student teaching, counseling, and psychology practicum field experience. And again, for Azusa Pacific University, for giving us that additional ability for kids to learn outside of the standard classroom. Thank you for that. And then finally, one other thing, everybody's, June 3rd, I think is the last day of school, June 3rd. I mean, this has been a challenging year for everybody. And it really shows you that individually, we might not be able to conquer the world, but together as a team, when we put our heads together and work together, we can do it. And when I watched the presentation today from Yorbita, and they said how smoothly it went, I look at social media, they all talk about the kids, how happy they're to be back. The teachers, when they're tweeting, they talk about how happy they're back to see their students. And it went so smoothly. I mean, we all had these fears and everything, but we all worked together and it worked out beautifully. So just a big shout out to all staff that were involved, which is basically everybody. We conquered the world and made it work. And really I'm excited for summer school in the fall semester, when we can get as more people back. And finally, I want to wish everybody a safe and healthy holiday weekend, but just for the books, since we're an educational institution. We call it Memorial Day. I know a lot of us call it a shopping day because they have all the special sales. But Memorial Day, which falls on the last Monday in May, honors the men and women who have died while serving in the military. The date was selected as an optimal date for flowers to bloom in the north. And that's why they picked that date. And the first Memorial Day event was held in 1868. And a lot of people get confused between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And Veterans Day is observed every November 11th. And it occurred first in Alabama in 1947. That was a great year, I tell you. Fabulous year. When you say 1985, it brings you back to your high school. How about 1965 brings me back? Geez, I wish it was 1985. And it was originally called Armistice Day, for a lot of you that might remember. And it recognizes all those that have served in the armed forces. So Memorial Day is really an emotional day because people gave up their lives for us to have the country we have. So go out and shop, but also take time to honor those that gave their lives to enable us to have that Monday off. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Mr. Malkin. So this week is the final week of the year, and in more days we'll be celebrating the graduation of high school, finishing their job years of education, and celebrating the kids promote from elementary to middle school and from middle to the high school. Actually, all of them, the seniors and then the sixth graders and the eighth graders from their junction. And class 2021 this year, graduate, the graduation. It's very special to me because I joined the board in 2009 and they were first grade. And this year is their graduation, 12 years. And what I feel is I celebrate their success and I congratulate their success. And I also feel very happy they successfully accomplished their 12 years of education. And I feel I do my duty to the board of the school. We do very well for these 12 years. We are very successful also. So I congratulate all of them for the graduation this year. And wishing them with a successful, bright future. And especially the 5 attendance that we mentioned. 12 years, perfect attendance was very, very nice. It's amazing. I look at myself, I served the board, I missed one board meeting. I failed. I didn't get perfect. So you know how hard it is. Yeah. So because you have to have a good endurance and you have good health and you have a good skill to schedule yourself so you won't miss any day, any school day. So that's very very successful too. And logic and I'm very happy to see Agnes's picture there. You know? Yeah. And I think you set a good example for the retiree. They retire for one position and start serving another position. So to continue serving as you have the ability and the energy. So you set a good example for everyone. And time to you retire anyways. I think it's working well and we really serve this also. So very happy to see your picture there. And as usual, the school presentation and have the kids for their experience for speaking and public and present their idea, share the things about the school. This very like it so much. Thank you, and wish everyone has good summer and a good, very nice, safe. So, thank you.
Dr. Mitchell, I just want to say how important the banners are, the pictures that are going up next week. I know you and your team do that, but I can tell you every time I'm driving and I see one senior from I have a big smile on my face. I'm so proud of that student, whoever it is, you know, and so thank you for making that possible. I really think it's a really good, great thing to have.
And if I could add that, because I meant to have in my closing remarks, and I missed it as well. I know they're difficult for the district to do, there's a cost of it. When my child had the banner up, it was a scavenger hunt. We heard that they're up and we drove around looking for it. And then she's texting her friends and just figuring out on this thing. The excitement was really, really a lot of fun. And then I think you told us like a couple of days later, we're like, oh yeah, we know where it's at. So thank you very much.
Okay, so we recess to close session. Yes. So let's take a 5-minute break and close session to 7:30.